Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I am one of the yoga instructors here in Yoga for Caregivers. This is our weekly stretch session where we focus on getting into our body, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries and notice where you're ready to extend into postures, where do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or perhaps find your center posture. Also, keep in mind that I don't often cue water. So, if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's come into a comfortable seat, whether your legs are crossed or they're straight out in front of you. You can be up on a prop if you'd like, or simply down on your mat. We're going to wiggle back and forth to root into our sits bones, and then we'll sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale as we draw our shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. One more time as we inhale the shoulders forward and up, and exhale as we drop them back and down. Good. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to gently close the eyes if that feels comfortable, or just find an unmoving point and soften your gaze here today. This year, inspiration for our classes is drawn from the Native American medicine wheel based on Sun Bear's vision. The medicine wheel teaches us about movement and change and offers us insight that will help us learn and grow. We're now in the flicker phase of the year, which happens under the seventh moon of the year and during the summer solstice. This is a time of rapid growth and taking care of others. After a period of rest, it's time to notice as the fruits of our labors begin to grow. Additionally, it's our chance to help others notice what gifts we are growing in themselves, what gifts are growing in themselves as well. In this way, we start to cultivate the type of life we truly want to live. As we move through practice, notice how far you've already come this year. You've already experienced much change. Notice what positive traits or habits have started to emerge. So, settling in, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Taking another deep inhale, fill your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale here as you feel your belly expanding outward, filling full of air. And then exhale as you draw your belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand and your collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhale, bring air in your nose, down your throat, filling the lungs. And then exhale as you squeeze that air out of your lungs. Feel it move up the throat and out your nose. Continue to breathe deeply here, inhaling and exhaling with intention, noticing the movements of the breath here. If the mind gets distracted by a thought, a noise, a physical sensation, simply notice the moment when you've gone away, and then see if you can come back to your breath, back to focusing on your inhales and your exhales. If it's helpful, perhaps incorporating a mantra to help you stay grounded and focused on your breath here today. Inhale, I am. Exhale, always growing. Inhale, I am. Exhale, always growing. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. Take another deep inhale here. Set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale here. Feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale the breath out. Set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. If you're sitting on a prop, we're going to go ahead and remove that. Set it off to the side here, coming into a crisscross seat on your mat. Good. We're going to inhale, sweep our arms wide, bring them up overhead, cast the gaze skyward, and then exhale, hinge forward here, drop your hands down to the floor, and then walk your hands forward as you sink into a forward fold. So this is a very gentle hip opener. We're starting to open ourselves up for a little bit more vigorous postures here. So as you sink forward, you can remain on the hands. You can use your props like your blocks, a bolster, or something else to come onto the forearms, or you can drop right down onto the forearms. Notice what feels right for you. Shoulders are shrugged down. We're pressing forward with our chest. And for me, my right leg is in front, so I'm feeling that stretch in my right hip. Notice how you're set up here, feeling into that stretch in the hip. Take a couple breaths. And then we inhale, press into the hands, walk ourselves back up into center. We're going to cross our legs in the opposite direction. So shifting that criss of the applesauce here, the cross of the applesauce, it might feel a little awkward. And then inhale, arms sweep up tall, look up toward the sky once again. Exhale, hinge at the hips, drop those hands down to the floor and start to walk yourself forward into this forward fold on the opposite side. Good. So sinking the chest down here, shoulders down. Again, you can be on the hands, using your props on the forearms. Notice what feels right for you. And one side may be different than the other. That's totally okay. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together to really feel into that opposite hip now. Lovely work. We inhale, walk ourselves back on up into center here. We're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So rolling over the feet or the knees or kicking them out to the side, coming into your tabletop. Hands are beneath shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. We're going to tuck the toes on the inhale, and on the exhale, lift the hips right into a down dog. Now, this may be the first down dog of our day or week. So taking a nice deep inhale here as you pedal out the feet. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. Inhale as you continue to pedal out those feet. Exhaling through the mouth. Good. Inhale, come into stillness. Find that good position with your down dog here. So shoulders are shrugged down. All 10 pads of your fingers are gently gripping the mat. Head is between the arms, gaze toward the toes. So really tuck that chin. Shoulders are shrugged down onto the back. The heels reach toward the floor. And even if they do not touch, we're feeling into the back of the legs here, pressing the chest toward the thighs. Yeah, nice alignment here. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. On the next inhale, sweep that left leg tall, flex the foot, press through the heel. Exhale, no matter how high that leg goes, really press through the heel away from your body. Good. On the following inhale, bend your knee, look up between your hands. Exhale, step your left foot up between your hands and then drop your back knee down to the mat and untuck the toes. Nice work. So we're coming into this low modified lunge. Hands are beneath the shoulders, planted on the mat. If this is too far to reach, you can grab your blocks, use them at any height to plant them down. So we're not sinking back like normal. Instead, we're staying forward and supported. As we sink the hips down, we gently draw ourselves toward the top of our mat here. So we're feeling a pull in that right hip flexor and the top of that right thigh. Good. Shoulders are shrugged down. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. All right. Inhale, shift your weight onto that back knee, flex that front foot or flex the foot, and then straighten that front leg here. Now, you might want to have some props nearby for this one. It's completely up to you. Lengthening through the spine, flattening the back on the inhale, and on the exhale, hinging at the hips, leaning with your heart center forward over that front leg, coming into dragon. So as we press forward with the heart center, we feel that pull from the Achilles all the way into that left hip capsule space. Keep those toes moving in toward the shin to keep that stretch nice and deep here. Hands can be on a block on any one of its heights, or you can also have it down on the mat here. Staying nice and firm in that right leg here, so we're not sinking back, but creating that nice 90-degree angle here. Shoulders down. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here together. Nice work here, folks. Go ahead, inhale, come forward onto that front foot. I'm going to shift into an angled position so you can see me a little bit better here, okay? So we're going to bring our left hand to the inside of that left foot. Heel toe that foot to the outside edge of your mat. So if you're on a regular yoga mat, that outside edge of the foot meets that outside edge of the mat. So we're widening our stance. So welcome into lizard. We're already feeling a deeper stretch in that right hip as we sink the hips down. Now you're welcome to stay here, elbows slightly bent. Option is to grab your block and come down onto the forearms, maybe on that medium side or low side. Another option is to come straight down onto the mat on the forearms. Another option, sole of the foot can remain on the floor, but if it feels better, foot can roll onto its outside edge. For some people, it feels great. For others, it does not. Options. Final option is to take that left arm, thread it through the left leg, bring the forearm around, and place it down on the mat next to that left foot there. Ooh, we're feeling that deep stretch now. Staying firm on both of your forearms if you're in this position. Notice what feels right for you. Take that option, and then let's take a breath here. All right, we're gonna inhale, make our way back on up onto our hands here. Go ahead, shift your weight onto that back knee, straighten that front leg, flex that front foot here. Good. This time, if you have a prop, you're welcome to bring it to the inside of your left leg, but you don't have to use a prop. Plant that right hand down on the prop or on the mat, and then inhale, rotate across the body, lift that left arm tall, coming into your modified revolve triangle. So top palm and chest are open here, feeling that nice twist through the spine. And then really we're feeling that nice deep stretch to the outside of this left leg. Woo, hello IT bands. Hello, too much time on the couch, right? So rotating open here. Hands can also be on the hip if that starts to bother the shoulder. Bottom elbows stay slightly bent. It's tempting to lock it out. So try not to do that. Let's take a couple breaths as you keep those toes moving in toward the shin. Nice work. Inhale, top hand comes down to the mat. Move your props out of the way. Good. Shift your weight onto that front foot. Plant the hands. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back leg. Let's step back into our three-legged dog. Move that left leg around in a couple circles in one direction and then in the other. Just releasing that hip before lowering that foot down to the floor. Evening out in down dog here. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out through the mouth. Nice deep inhale. Exhale it out. Good. Opposite side. Weight shifts into the left hand and foot. Inhale, right leg sweeps tall, flex the foot, press through the heel. Exhale, no matter how high that leg goes, really reach through the heel away from the body. Inhale, bend the knee, look up between the hands. Exhale, step your right foot forward and then drop your back knee down, untuck the toes. Good. So we're now on the opposite side here. Hands come down to either side of that front foot on the mat. You can use props like I am if you need. Otherwise, you do not have to. Fingertips can also be in a tent position if you prefer. We're really focusing on shifting our hips down toward the floor here and then pulling them forward lightly. So we feel that nice pull in our left hand or in our left hip flexor and also the top of that thigh. Shoulders are down. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Nice work. On the next inhale, shift your weight onto that back leg, straighten that front foot, straighten that front leg, flex the front foot. It's a lot of F's here today. Good. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale. On the exhale, hinge at the hips, press forward with the heart center, coming into this dragon pose opposite side. So again, you've got props here for support as you need. Feel free to use them on whatever height you prefer. If you do not have props, hands can come down onto the mat here. So again, toes move in toward the shin. We focus on pressing forward with the heart center. So we feel that nice deep stretch to the back of that front leg. Shoulders are shrugged down here. Good. And stay strong on that left leg this time. Nice 90-degree angle. Let's take some deep breaths. Nice work here. We're going to inhale, shift forward onto that front foot. bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe that right foot to the outside edge of your mat, widening your stance. So welcome back to lizard, now on the opposite side. So we're already feeling that stretch in the right hip. You're welcome to stay right here, elbows slightly bent. Options is to utilize your props to come down onto your forearms, or maybe you come all the way down onto the mat here. Options. Once again, foot can stay where it is or it can roll onto its outside edge. Notice, and maybe one side's different from the other. You're going to be able to determine that. Okay. Final option, right arm threads the needle here. And then forearm and palm come to rest next to that right foot here, staying strong on both forearms. Ooh, this is intense. Let's take a couple deep breaths wherever you find yourself here today. All right, inhale, go ahead, make your way back on up to your hands. If you are not already there, shift your weight onto that back leg, straighten that front foot here, straighten that front leg and foot. Sorry about that. And again, if you have a block, you can place it to the inside of your calf, or you can just come down onto the mat. Planting that left hand on the block or the mat, and then exhale, rotating across the body, lifting the right arm tall, coming into that modified revolve triangle, opposite side. So top palm and chest are open, feeling that twist through the spine. Noticing the pull through the IT band here. Oh my goodness. Keeping those toes moving in toward the shin so we keep that stretch nice and deep. And then just a slight bend in your left elbow here. Wherever you find yourself, let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Inhale, top hand comes down to the mat. Bend that front knee, coming onto it, planting onto the foot, planting the hands on either side of that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift your back leg. Let's step back into our three-legged dog. Move that right leg around in a couple circles in one direction, and then in the other, before dropping that foot back down to the floor. Good. Two nice deep breaths here in down dog. Inhale. Exhale, open the mouth, let it out. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, open the mouth, let it out. Nice work. Inhale, we drop the knees down onto the mat, untuck the toes, hips to heels, elongate the forearms, forehead down to the floor. Child's pose. If your forehead does not reach the mat, you can stack your forearms or stack your fists. You can also use a prop like a block to place underneath the forehead. Whatever feels good for you. And as we take a couple breaths here, checking in, noticing what's present, noticing the sense of your body in this space here today. On the next inhale, your hands come beneath the shoulders. Go ahead, press yourself on up into a vertical position. We are going to come down onto our back. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket for final relaxation. Now is your moment to do so. We will not sit up for the rest of your practice, making sure that your space is clear of any props or anything else that might get in your way. Okay? So coming on down onto the mat, tuck the knees into the chest for a moment, wrap yourself up, give yourself a little hug, and maybe a little roly-poly action here, rocking from side to side, little low back massage. Thanking yourself for taking some time to practice today, for caring for your body, and even in the postures that maybe don't feel so good. We know we were doing really important work there. When you feel ready, coming into stillness here, let's go ahead and drop the soles of the feet down to the floor and prepare for final relaxation. So if this is the right spot for you, please feel free to rest right here. An option is to place blocks or a pillow or a bolster beneath your thighs and extend your legs. It can be really helpful if you experience low back pain. Now, if you'd like, soles of the feet can come together, knees can fall out wide for recline down angle. You can also extend one leg and keep the opposite foot in for fallen tree, or you can extend both legs out for traditional final relaxation. Those arms can be wherever you want here, noticing what feels good for your body. An option is to also come onto your side or your belly. You can also just come into a seated position if you prefer and use this final part of practice as a seated meditation. It's completely up to you. So noticing here what feels right for you, making any final little adjustments, and then settling in. Begin to notice the breath here. Notice how fast or slow it's moving, how deep or shallow it is. Noticing the quality of each breath on your inhales, the quality of each breath on your exhales. Feeling into the gentle rise and fall of your belly, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And seeing if you can rest right here. Rest in the knowledge that already through this practice, you've grown, you've changed, you've welcomed in movement, you've welcomed in stretches and healing to your body. Just rest with that sense of being. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just an opportunity to rest as you are right here in this moment. If the mind is trying to draw you off the mat, if it's trying to take you to the next thing here today, see if you can draw it back, come back to the breath and the inhales and exhales. Of course, if it's helpful, come back to the mantra we use at the beginning of practice. Inhale, I am. Exhale, always growing. Inhale, I am. Exhale, always growing. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I am watching the time. I respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here. Deep relaxation is an opportunity for your body to rest, heal, and be restored. You send love and care to every part of your body and every cell. bringing your awareness back to this space. Taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Taking another deep inhale here as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, roll onto one side, pause there for a moment with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale here, and then make your way on up into a seated position as we close out our practice together today. So finding that comfortable seat, rooting into the sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, we bring our shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. Good. Hands come into a comfortable position on the legs and the lap or at heart center, closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for this weekly stretch session with Yoga for Caregivers. Again, my name is Alexis. You can find me here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so make sure to mark your calendars and set your alarm. You can find Yoga for Caregivers on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So make sure to follow us, share with all those that you know so you can keep up to date with all the resources available to all the wonderful people like you. So thank you once again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.